In De-Isolationism Part 1, I mentioned the multifarious choices we are given in life, and also mentioned the fact of one's ability to differentiate between these choices. Then proceeding after making the proper choice for them personally, which for some may include the unknown variable, we begin here under the notion that one has integrated the unknown variable within themselves, becoming nothing, a blank slate, so to speak. By affirming oneself as a blank slate, that doesn't mean you abandoned everything of who you once were. Surely there are events that have been woven into your lives deemed useful to survival and even worthwhile. At this point, one could make mention of the fact that those individuals who have been left with no choices, so to speak, are actually forced to choose this nothing and begrudgingly accept their lot in life. To this statement, a confident individual would reply, "The fact remains a decision must be made to follow the path you have actively chosen, which means you are in charge of your life, forced into a corner or not, or continue to blame others, relinquishing the control of your existence to them." As with anything, the rational answer is always the proper answer. So in following the rational answer, the now empowered individuals begin rebuilding from the nascent point, a mental guidebook for themselves. This guide will help them traverse the endless pitfalls of life with confidence and purposeful direction. We know that having grown to a certain stage of development, outwardly there are many influences helping to mold us, especially if we are fortunate enough to have a loving family and a sound living environment. I want to sidestep a bit here and refer to the individuals who don't have the aforementioned qualities of life. Those who, by some twist of fate or by their own doing, have been left out in the cold in regards to a proper upbringing or any kind of solidarity in their existence. In these cases, it has probably been said by themselves and others, "I don't stand a chance in this world because no one has ever been there to guide me or show me the proper path." Whether we know it or not, we have all crossed paths, or actually are an individual who has been born from this nothing and arisen to great heights. The simple fact is, optimizing oneself is possible no matter the background of the person. In the end, unrelenting effort is key in pursuit of perfection. If an individual combines effort with proper attitude, nothing lies beyond their scope. In the tragic cases of those who feel they cannot connect with the world, spiraling out of control in a chaotic implosion of self, we can only say, there's no doubt at some time the opportunity to progress had appeared in some form or another. Unlike those who choose to progress, they chose not to take the proper path. The implosion of self leads to an explosion of the shadow, releasing the festering hate and anger back out into the world. To these forgotten ones, we can only hope they choose the proper path in their next life. Moving forward, in creating your guidebook, you can start by using memory techniques, which are the recommended course, as opposed to writing methods of improvement in a notebook or storing them in a note-taking application. Developing a strong memory is key to many things in life. And let's be honest, although helpful, do you really want all your devices doing the thinking for you? Whichever way one chooses, we can begin by finding the courage to seek out pathways in life others are too feeble or afraid to find. Generally speaking, this is the hardest step to take. The apathetic horde will endlessly condemn those who choose against the norm. As with any endeavor, do not allow yourself to be discouraged by their taunts. Keep your head high and eyes forward no matter the punishment society sees fit to cast upon you. In seeking new pathways, an unrelenting quest for the truth should be prominent in your thoughts. There's nothing wrong with asking for evidence and proof of an individual or group set of claims. Also, in all of these tasks, you should seek responsibility. Take account of the actions you perform and own the consequences. Responsibility is a scarce commodity in these times. Enrich yourself within its source. Anyone can choose, take action, seek truth and responsibility, But so many, even the strongest of the strong, lack the ability to finish what they set out to do. No matter the obstacle, once you commit to a task, you should always see to its completion. One should always test themselves, their knowledge, and their abilities. If these fail in the face of adversity, don't be afraid to erase the useless bits and start fresh. In the event you find yourself drifting into apathy or laziness, practice attentiveness. Too many people in this world lack the basic ability to pay attention to what happens around them. This is a trait that should be cultivated at all times. If you find yourself slipping into extreme cases of boredom, it would be a wise decision to get into a hobby. I know this tactic seems childish, but let us consider how many people could have avoided disaster, prison, hatred, laziness, and ignorance if they had found a productive way to spend their time, instead of worrying about what everyone else is doing or doing nothing with their own lives. When people get bored, the mind consumes itself. Let's face the truth. This world would change drastically if everyone pointing their finger at others turned it toward themselves, and everyone pointing their finger at themselves and pointed outward toward the world. This is just the beginning of this new pathway in your life. In travails, we must own the ability to make choices and back them with our very lives. So with this path, as with anything in life, add or take away anything that has its proper place in your personal guidebook. Reflect deeply on the contents of yourself, then check back here soon and we will discuss further progression.